Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I just got off of a podcast with a dear friend, colleague, and peer who was in my certification program last round, and we were so fired up on the conversation. I just had to come on here and share with you what we talked about. I believe so vehemently that going alcohol free means that the universe has actually tapped you on the shoulder and asked you to remove what's no longer serving you because you have a really big purpose to play in this world. And I've seen this time and time and time again. A lot of people can continue drinking a beverage that lowers our lifespan, makes us feel groggy the next day, makes us feel like not our best selves, and continue just ignoring it and shoving it under a rug. And obviously, I did that for a really long time too, right? Years and years and years, my intuition was telling me to ditch alcohol, but I just kept ignoring it. But I think you're here because it's like you're finally awakening to that voice and to that message, and you actually want to really embark on this next new phase and this next new journey in your life. And I truly do believe that it's only the most intuitive people who are given this message from the universe. So, what is this message, right? It's when the universe literally taps you on the shoulder and says, Carolina, you have such a big purpose to enact on this planet. You have such an incredible mission that you are meant to share with people. You have such incredible gifts that are going to change people's lives. We don't have time to play around with this toxic beverage that doesn't make you feel your best, right? And I really do see that over and over and over again in the sober, curious, and alcohol free movement is that women and men are so powerful. They have such a big mission and such a big gift to share with the world. And sometimes the beautiful part of going on this journey of just starting to reevaluate alcohol is actually discovering what that really is and really honing into the self discovery and the process that it takes to get to that next level to understand what that beautiful purpose is. And the thing is that I think we have this in common. Like, I think we love the alcohol free message. I think we really love personal development. I think we really love the idea that, like, you can grow as a person and really change and become a different version of yourself as you keep evolving throughout time and throughout life. And so, when I thought back to like when I first got started and I thought back to some of the most incredible thought leaders and authors and coaches and, people out there who were doing these big, 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 beautiful things, it seemed like there was such a distance between us, right? Like someone over here, like Tony Robbins is up here, Gabby Bernstein is over here, and I'm just like down here, just getting barely started, not really knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think what's really beautiful to recognize is that when we admire someone else for their work that they contribute to the world, maybe someone's podcast has helped you, maybe you've read a book that's helped you, maybe you have, really aligned with someone's story and their kind of vision and the kind of thought leadership that they share into the world. I don't think we just care about that stuff randomly. I think that like we are also being clued into the fact that we're meant to be educators and that we are meant to, supposed to grow in that dimension. And it's a belief system that I have that's obviously really personal to me, but I literally believe that there's a really big reason why certain people are tapped on the shoulder to go alcohol free. And it's not the whole world, right? Like everybody could be hungover and most people will ignore that. Most people will just keep on drinking and keep on going. So why is it that there are some select few people who will actually stop and say, wait a minute, is alcohol serving me? Wait a minute, what I was doing with when I was in my 20s was one thing, but now as I'm growing into the version of myself I want to become as I get older and older, is alcohol really helping me achieve that? And so it's really beautiful to start to listen to that voice. And we have to be willing to believe that it's for a bigger reason, it's for a bigger purpose. Now, I definitely do, and that's what's kind of propelled me in my career and moving forward. But I think once you can accept that, if you're willing to accept that the only reason why you're here and, following this, the only reason why you're in my community and euphoric, the only reason you've maybe read my book or listened to my podcast, the only reason why you're in the Facebook group, like, is because you have a really big purpose. Like the universe is actually guiding you to go on this growth journey to let go of alcohol for a bigger reason. And some of us might know what that is a lot more closer than others. And some of us are just figuring that out, which is really, really beautiful. Like I grew up in a world where I thought that you had to do the most sensible, practical thing for your career. For example, I got not only a bachelor's degree, but then I went on to get my master's and then I went on to get an MBA. And I thought that getting all of those things was going to kind of position me in such a way to, be able to kind of like get into an organization and work my way up. And I was so unfulfilled when I was doing that. I was so unfulfilled because it wasn't my bigger purpose. And I think we go into our careers and different pivots and different jobs for a reason, right? There's a reason why we do all that, but it's not always where we're meant to grow into. And I think that's really fascinating to see that there's this really incredible phenomenon that happens where you ditch alcohol and then all of a sudden you ditch it and you kind of turn on your entrepreneurial fire. All of a sudden, for example, for me, I never thought I could be an entrepreneur when I was, younger, when I was still drinking. I always thought there's something super different about me. I thought that I was way too foreign, way too shy, way too introverted, way too just incapable. Like other people know about that kind of stuff. I just don't know about it. And so I really discounted that journey for myself for such a long time while I was just slogging back and forth to my cubicle and drinking on the weekend. And it was that fire that I really discovered when I let go of alcohol that was like, why not me? Like, why not me be the one who takes like charge with my entrepreneurial dreams? And I think it's like a really beautiful thing to recognize that not only are we often called to just like do something on our own and to actually become our own bosses and to grow a successful business, but in 9 out of 10 cases, the people I talk to, like, you want to help other people. You actually want to be of service and make a wild contribution on this planet and make meaning in your life by helping other people. And so, what's stopping us from actually making a wild difference in as many people's lives as possible, right? What is stopping us from listening to that intuitive feeling that we are meant to move forward, that we went alcohol free for a reason, that we're meant to move forward and have this big purpose and change a lot of people's lives? And I find that it often comes down to imposter syndrome. It comes down to perfectionism. We think everything has to be perfect before we can release it into the world. I think perfectionism is actually a disguise for procrastination too. And so we procrastinate as well because when we're procrastinating, we're actually thinking it has to be perfect before we release something into the world. And I think it also comes down to just having the general level of fear and doubt of doing something new, doing something outside of your comfort zone, doing something you never done before. It's not familiar. Your nervous system's not regulated to it, so you're not used to it. And so it's really fascinating to see that, like, if you're willing to believe that you have a very big mission, that going alcohol free happened to you for a reason, and that you're meant to lead a lot of people and guide other people and help people and serve people, then isn't our procrastination, our imposter syndrome, our fear, our doubt, isn't all of that actually kind of selfish? Isn't it actually kind of selfish when you know that you have a big purpose and you're meant to help people, when you hold back that you're actually doing a disservice to the world? Now, obviously, for some of us, we have to actually land on this belief that, yes, I do have a big purpose. And I hope I can convince you that you wouldn't have gone alcohol free if you didn't. And there's so many beautiful growth opportunities that you've landed on, whether it's growing more boundaries, whether it's stopping to people please, whether it's more confidence and courage, whether it's more self-love, whether it's more self-worth, to actually believe that. And it's a really beautiful fundamental thing to believe. Everybody has a purpose on this planet, right? And to actually believe that yours is important and special and big is the greatest gift of self-love that you can give yourself. Sure, sometimes you can feel delusional, but sometimes it takes delusion to actually believe I'm not meant to have this mediocre life. I'm not meant to just do the normal things that the cookie cutter way that people tell me I'm supposed to live. I'm actually supposed to do something big and wild and beautiful with my one and only wild and precious life. And so if we're willing to believe that, then what's stopping us from the next step? And I often find, again, with that imposter syndrome, with the doubt, the procrastination, the perfectionism, all those things that hold us back, I fall on those things too, right? I fall on those things all the time. Because every next level pushes me to something that I've never done before. Every next level is I'm getting out of my comfort zone all over again. And so first thing that I found that really, really helps me feel like I am actually can move past those things, is to do it in community. And that when we are with people who have actually done the thing that we want to do, it changes the game. I just signed up for another container for a mastermind with a mentor who is literally like, woo, she's like light years ahead of me. I love watching her. I love watching how she operates. I love learning from her, and I love being coached by her. And because I know that it's smart for me to position myself in a room with people who are doing the thing I want to do or have already done the thing I want to do. So that's the first thing, is like, where can you find that? Where can you actually step into that? And the next thing that we have to recognize too is sometimes when we feel we have the imposter syndrome, or we're not yet ready, that like that is just one version of you in time, and it doesn't mean that the version of you 6 months from now or a year from now is going to feel like that. For example, I felt a lot of imposter syndrome before I got officially certified, because I started actually blogging and posting on social media without being certified, and I was just sharing and sharing, and then I decided to actually, like, why not make this official? Why not actually learn the tools and the trade and really take my career seriously and really take it to the next level by doing that? And so I see so many of you, you're posting on your accounts, you have these beautiful, like, inspiration, and you're giving people, advice on how to maybe go alcohol free or other elements of your healing or personal development journey. And if it's like this is something you really want to make your career, I do recommend taking it to the next level and getting the official credentials that will actually make you feel empowered to share this message with the world. And so that you don't feel like you're in imposter syndrome, you actually know what you're talking about on a really deep level. And so in my certification, for example, in our 5X certification, we go really deep into the subconscious mind. We really learn how it works with the conscious mind, how the neuroscience and the wiring works behind that, and a lot of the social conditioning that actually produces products in the world, not people, right? Products in the sense that we are just following the rules that were already embedded into our subconscious mind by other programming. That counts alcohol, that counts like anything that was, programmed in by our caretakers, by schools, by, just the way that, globally we believe things to be. And I think it's really fascinating to help someone unpack that and actually become their authentic selves and actually rediscover what they want out of life and what their, bigger values and what is really meaningful for them. And so when you can learn at that level, not only how to help someone remove desires from alcohol, but also tap into that deeper level of purpose and meaning and fulfillment, and some of the Jedi tools we teach, whether it comes from our neurolinguistic programming techniques or from hypnosis or from other techniques that were taught in the program, it takes your confidence to the next level. It takes your confidence to the next level because you know what you're doing and you have the practice and our practicums to actually get to that level. And so I want to, I hear from people all the time who want to get into this world, who want to start their careers in the coaching and the personal development in the alcohol-free space, but that are kind of really sitting back and just kind of waiting for something to happen without actually taking the next aligned action into moving forward. So if that is to get in the room, for example, to actually join a program where you are with these next level people and getting that level of mentorship, then that is my advice for you, whether it's my program or somebody else's, right? Whether it's to actually get the certification and the training so that you don't feel like an imposter syndrome, you actually feel like you have the credentials and the backing to know what you're talking about, that is going to be a service to other people. You have such a special gift. There's people out there whose lives you're meant to change, but they are like waiting for you and you're hiding under a rock right now, right? If we're already in business and we're already growing our beautiful entrepreneurial journeys, maybe to get to the next level, we need to also lean in on more visibility and how to actually put ourselves out there, in a deeper, more profound way without feeling that lack of in authenticity, or even that sense of like the fear of being seen or things like that, the fear of putting yourself out there and failing. These are such normal things to go through as we grow, not only in an alcohol-free journey, but in a big purpose journey as well. I know you have a big purpose. I know you wouldn't even be watching this. I know you wouldn't even be in this community or in this group if you didn't have a big purpose. I know you wouldn't have reevaluated alcohol in the first place if you weren't meant to share your big purpose with the world. And it's like when you watch and see what our era can bring, it's 2024, and we watch these people all around the world awakening from relationships with alcohol and really getting deep with what they want out of life and becoming more powerful and more authentic and more aligned to what they actually want to create in the world. Like, we're going to see a different world. The world is literally going to change with this level of consciousness change. And if you want to be part of that, I do invite you to join. I'm hosting interviews right now for our fall round of the Empowered AF 5X certification program. You can learn all about that in the application page. So it's becomeeuphoric.com/certification. And if you're kind of just listening to this, you kind of just popped in and you're not really sure, I'm also hosting a free masterclass in a few weeks called How I Made My First Six Figures Off My Passion. I really do believe that when we are given passions and when we care deeply about something, that we can actually make the most success and the most abundance from that. Although the journey there is often very confusing. So I'm going to take you back into literally exactly what I did to make my first six figures off of my passion, from, just getting started to getting clients to really putting myself out there in my business, everything from my book deal. It's going to be really exciting. And then some of the cool ways that you can monetize your transformation, your big passions, and really create something that's sustainable, something that's aligned, something that you really care about. You know, 85% of people are working in careers that they're not finding fulfillment in. 85%. Like, that's way too big, you know? And I just know that while some people are going to stay in that and just keep doing that, and that's fine for them, I know that you have a bigger purpose. I know that you literally wouldn't have gone alcohol free or sober curious if it wasn't for this bigger purpose you're meant to play in the world. And what are you holding back from the world? What beautiful gift are you holding back when we stay in the playing small or the fear or the overwhelm or we're not really sure what to do next, right? Get in the room, learn from people who've already done what you want to do, figure out what you want to do, you know, start getting the training, start getting the mentorship, and trust me, your life will change forever. So if you have any questions about the certification program, I do encourage you to apply because then we get to talk one-on-one and you get to answer all of your questions, which is going to be really cool. That's becomeeuphoric.com/certification. And then if you want to join the masterclass where I'm teaching you how I made my first six figures and some of the key elements you need to make six figures off of your own passion, you can sign up for that at becomeeuphoric.com/passion. I'm going to include all the links in my link in bio and in the comments here too. So be sure to join for that. And I just think we live in a really exciting era, like a really, really exciting era where seriously, anything is becoming possible. You know, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we just have to reflect on how much has changed from our great grandmother's lives. Like, truly, my mother couldn't even open a bank account in the 70s without a man co-signing it. You know, like, things have changed so much. And sometimes we have to, you know, pinch ourselves and remember that, like, our dreams are here for a reason. We are meant to have a big purpose for a reason. It's meant to change the world, heal the world, serve the world. And you wouldn't have gone on this self-discovery journey if it wasn't for this big reason, if it wasn't for this big purpose that you have to play. So I love to hear from you. Do submit an application we will talk on our interview. I'll share all about the program. Not only do you get 5 certifications, it's an ICF approved program. We also are triple accredited. It also comes with an all-inclusive business retreat. So we just hosted our last business retreat in Palm Springs. It was it was seriously epic. I hope you come and look at the footage of that on my stories and on my reels and stuff like that. I had such an incredible time going so deep into the marketing and also into the deeper why of like stepping into this leadership role. And the phenomenal, most incredible people joined. Some of you watching too. I love that so much. And we also go into teaching you how to grow a business too, because you know, I've been here in this game for 6 years now, and there's so many mistakes I made. So if I could help you, you know, launch successfully and grow successfully and kind of omit some of those mistakes, obviously we're all gonna have them and make them. That's part of the journey, but that's kind of my, I think, goal in life is to help people in phases that I used to be in, and I can really help support and grow and go to the next level. So good catching up today on this Friday afternoon. I hope to hear from you soon. Feel free to DM me if you have any questions or book that interview so we can talk one-on-one. That would be such a joy. And we'll talk soon.